back to me. And I was riding back in the van with Nate Bargatze, and he got wind of like hearing that I said on my podcast that golf wasn't a sport. And dude, the whole way back into the bar, through the second round of drinks, we argued about whether or not it was a sport or not. And he brought up NASCAR. He said those guys are athletes. I'm like, dude, I'm not saying that somebody who drives a NASCAR vehicle is not an athlete, but you don't have to be. You don't have to be any sport, like I said, any sport where you can throw like a girl, then it's not it's just, if you don't have hand-eye coordination, somebody throws you a ball and you fucking tense up and it bounces off you like they just threw it against a wall. I know guys like that, and they're still good drivers. I'm not saying that they're NASCAR level, but to me, okay, as much as it's an insult, I'm going to get myself in trouble again here. As much as it's an insult to golf, a lot of people would say that I say it's not a sport. I think it's an insult to NASCAR to just say it's a sport. Because like the NASA level shit that is going on in pit row, that's the funniest thing about going to a race. Is if you're in the stands right across from pit row, the level of intellect that's across the track, trying to figure out basically how to make these rockets that don't leave the ground go like a fucking tenth of a mile faster than somebody else. And you're talking they're going like, 180, 200 miles an hour, or whatever the fuck they do now with the restrictor plates. And if you go right across the track, it's guys like me like, whee, sitting there with a cooler, eating bologna fucking sandwiches. I don't know. I think I'm not shitting on NASCAR. I think it's a fucking insult to say that it's a sport. I don't think so. All right. And also the fact of where it came from, that it basically came out of like bootlegging during Prohibition and having like a stock car. You look at a car and you think it's just stock from the factory, but you got under the hood, I love that shit. That's why I was talking last week. I love that Mercedes-Benz station wagon, but it comes from the AMG factory. So it can go, whatever, 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds, but people think you're going to the grocery store. I love a fucking sleeper. So I'm not disrespecting NASCAR by saying that it's not a sport. I just look at it. I think that's an insult to racing to say that it's a sport. Because as great as basketball is, at the end of the day, you're putting a ball through a hoop. All right? As great as hockey is, you're trying to put a fucking rubber disc into a net. And you can do that with all the four major sports. What they're doing is an entirely different level. Like they're changing what's possible in transportation. Like, I don't even know how to say it. I'm too dumb to say it. You're talking like the amount of like physics, the technology that is going on. I don't know. I would say it's closer to Transformers than it is a sport. But whatever. So Nate is